Hey kids, it is 52 days until we go to Burning Man and 59 days until the man burns. And we're going to talk today about that giant subject of MOOP. MOOP is matter out of place. It's litter. It's anything that doesn't belong out there on the playa. This applies also in your daily real life. I mean, there's litter all over the place. There's litter on the highways. There's litter in your backyard. There's litter out here on my campsite out on public land. So it is a big problem, and disposing of litter even is probably a bigger problem. It's tough enough that we have to deal with trash, but where do we put it? How much do we pay for it? All of that, and that's what we're going to talk about. Wherever there are humans, there's going to be MOOP, because we make MOOP. We make trash. I mean, hair can be MOOP, you know. If it didn't grow there and wasn't there originally in nature, then it's MOOP. But at Burning Man on the playa, even things that would be natural in nature aren't natural there at Burning Man. So like if you're gonna have a fire and bring wood, well, that wood was not there. That still is MOOP because it doesn't really belong there. So that firewood is out of place, and you need to take all of that with you. Glitter, hair, you can't deal with hair being left behind. That's just gonna happen, but still, that's MOOP. But because it's a leave no trace event, and because they have a permit that they have with all kinds of stipulations, they can only leave a certain amount of MOOP behind, or else they lose that permit, and we can't have Burning Man out there on Black Rock Playa again. And perhaps you didn't know this, but at Burning Man, they have police officers and they have federal agents there. So it's not like a Wild West place. If you are not following the rules that are set in place by Burning Man before the event and during the event, you can get fined. Burning Man has rangers, and they have people with Leave No Trace, the Earth Guardians camp, that will go around and help to teach people, because a lot of people just don't know certain things. There's a lot to know to go to Burning Man. Part of this is things like fuel storage. You're not supposed to be dumping any of your gray water, obviously black water, on the playa. But some people that come to Burning Man may do these things, and it's going to be explained to you by someone probably from Earth Guardians, perhaps a ranger, and you will be given some time to remedy what it is you're doing. But if you don't do that, then you will get fined. So Burning Man takes all of this very, very seriously. And you may or may not be aware that after Burning Man, hundreds of volunteers stay or come back to the playa and clean everything up, because even though each camp is supposed to rake their area and do a MOOP sweep, they don't all do that, number one. And number two, things still can be left behind. Plus, there's all the inner playa and deep playa areas that people have accidentally dropped things. Things get left. Some people don't realize they left something behind. The last day last year, before we left, I rode out onto deep playa, and there's bikes left over, there's jackets, there's all kinds of things. Not a ton of it, but hundreds of bikes are left at Burning Man every year, which is mind-blowing. Some people literally just don't care, even though they've gone to Burning Man. The thing is, you can't filter who buys a ticket. Are they a real burner, or are they someone who just wants to come and party and have fun? You can't filter for that. So things do get left behind, and that is why they have volunteers come and clean everything up. They literally rake that entire 9 square miles to get everything and make the playa back to as pristine as possible. Now, locals get very riled up about Burning Man. Anybody who lives around Fernley, Reno, any of the surrounding cities, and for good reason, because Burning Man asks the burners to not dump their trash in the neighboring cities and towns, but guess what? They still do. And it's too much. 70,000 people coming through, and a small percentage of those dumping their stuff in any dumpster that they can find as they leave town is a problem. What is the solution to that problem? I do not know. I don't have a solution, but I'm here to help educate people to know this is why you don't just throw your stuff in the town's trash. Take it home with you. But the truth of it is, everything does get cleaned up at Black Rock City on the playa. Gets absolutely cleaned. They have passed the BLM's requirements every year, and that strict requirement is this: they can only find 1 square foot of MOOP per acre out there, and so they find less than 1 square foot per acre every year because they still have it out there. So I do think that the bigger problem is actually trash after the fact. Where do people put it? Because I don't know, I guess some people don't want to carry it all the way home. Some people are going to fly out, and some people literally leave it on the playa, but and they know it's going to get picked up. But it's that after trash. I know on the way out, There are a couple of stations where you can pay to dump whatever trash that you have if you want to get rid of that. That's wonderful to whoever is offering that as a service. Burning Man is so strict about this rule that they have a MOOP map that they create every year. So every piece of whatever is picked up is recorded and put onto a MOOP map. And camps that have left behind too much MOOP will not be allowed to return the next year, because you can't come and just be that way and expect to keep coming back to Burning Man. But for the real burners, MOOP is not intentional, but it still does happen where human people make mistakes. You might think that like the most MOOP that happens would be, I don't know what you might think it would be. I can't even try to guess that, but I'll tell you what actually it is. And that is lag bolts. The things that are held, they're giant 12, 15-inch long spikes. They go into the ground. It's like a tent stake. It's a really long tent stake, and it keeps your structures from blowing away because it tends to get pretty windy out there. But once they get in the ground and they're buried, if somebody pulls, the tent thing off of it without pulling the lag bolt, then the lag bolt disappears. Or if it rains and it gets muddy, then again, sometimes these things, it's the biggest problem, lag bolts. And last year, 2025, the next was plastic debris, 1,204 pieces, cardboard paper debris, 826 pieces, wood, 637 pieces, and it goes metal debris, assorted MOOP debris, textiles, fabric, glass debris, micro MOOP, which is unidentifiable, plant matter, cigarette butts, 146, carpet, rugs, electronic debris, food debris, paint chips, burn scars, fireworks debris. So there's all kinds of different things that are found. It's incredible. The cleanup process blows my mind. So the truth is that I'd say half of Burning Man's litter problem is intentional and just people that don't care, and half of it is unintentional. It's just things that get dropped, things that accidentally get left behind. Thank goodness for the volunteer crews every year that come and clean everything up, but they can't clean what's left in the towns and cities, and that is unfortunate. And I am here to tell people, do not throw your stuff in the towns and cities. Garbage, I don't care what kind of can it is, a dumpster, the Walmart trash cans, they've probably taken those away surely by now, because almost every Walmart that I've seen lately have taken their trash cans out of the parking lot. So as a full-time RVer, it is a challenging thing to try to figure out where to put your own trash. So if you're thinking about going to Burning Man, I'm going to give you some hints and tricks of things to do to minimize your trash. Number one is pretty easy, especially with your food items. Before you go to Burning Man, get rid of all the packaging. Put things in Tupperware containers or Ziploc bags, just to not have to, because once you take something out of a package, boom, there you have that trash, and that adds up really quickly. And I have to say that food trash, as a full-time RVer, that is my number one, what makes trash. And that goes for anything else you have. If you bought, a new shade cloth and it's wrapped in plastic, take it out before you go. Secondly, do a MOOP sweep of your camp regularly. Don't wait just until exodus when you're leaving to do your MOOP sweep. Do it daily. Bring a rake with you. Bring that rake. There's wind could cover stuff up. You could have rain and mud could cover things up. So bring that rake. Rake your camp as often as you can. Get your campmates to do the same. Next, don't bring moopy items. They forbid things like glitter, feathers, any kind of material that's real loose and wispy, and zero sequins. These things all tend to shed, and that all becomes MOOP. And the smaller the pieces, the harder it is, because the harder it is to find and clean up. But the BLM might find it. Also, make sure you have a dedicated bag when you find MOOP. I like to bring it with me all the time on my bike. If I'm riding out on playa, I find something out there, I stop, I pick it up, I put it in that bag, and I carry on. Watch out for the types of things you put on your bike. Year one, I think I put some goofy little thing on my spokes, and they came off. They totally came off, and they're out there somewhere as MOOP. So watch what you put on your bike. Make sure you secure everything very well to your bike so you don't want things falling off, like a jacket or anything at all. Anytime you put a lag bolt in the ground, make absolutely sure that you mark where it is. Either it's going to be attached to some kind of whatever it's holding down, which that's a mark right there, but don't undo that part until you have removed the lag bolt. Always remove the lag bolt first, and then attach the lag bolt to whatever it's connected to. Next, if you're doing any type of crafting or doing anything that's going to be shedding stuff, have a tarp with you and put that tarp underneath it so it can catch anything that you're working with that you don't intend to be on the ground. MOOP. And it really is so important that you always keep everything off the ground. So anything you see, like, remove it immediately, because you don't know when. Either one, a windstorm is going to come and it's going to blow all that stuff, and that's just MOOP all over the place now, or you're going to have rain. And then once the rain hits and people are walking through, then that whatever was on the ground is going to get all mixed up in the mud, and that's the worst for trying to pick up the MOOP. Another bike tip, make sure you don't put stuff on your bike that could rattle loose and come off. Make sure everything is absolutely secured. Use zip ties, use whatever you need to make sure that everything is bound firmly. If you've ever been to any kind of event or festival and seen the aftermath of that, you know that it's a disaster. Humans can be disgusting and lazy. They get there, and I don't know why people just go, I'm going to throw this drink on the ground, but they do. So for Burning Man to be called Leave No Trace angers a lot of people. They're like, it's not really Leave No Trace, but there is Leave No Trace as you can possibly be. And they're more Leave No Trace than almost any festival, fair, whatever event you go to. They have to clean up afterwards as well, but they don't have this strict standard of 1 square foot per acre is all that can be found by the BLM, or else again they lose the permit. I absolutely commend Burning Man for the efforts they put into making it a Leave No Trace event. I don't have an answer for what happens in the cities afterwards. I understand that's a big pain point, and I get it. I get why the locals would be so upset by that. But to be upset about that and say, oh, Burning Man is a terrible thing, I don't know if they've never been, but Burning Man is the greatest thing on earth, if you ask me. It's a wonderland. It's a playground. It's the most creativity, art, novelty, and energy and effort put in by humans of anywhere else in the world. And it's beautiful at night. So many lights, all the LEDs, all the art. To call it a terrible thing is just, you're just dumb. Sorry. It's absolutely not. And yeah, there's all kinds of wonderful things out there people like to demonize it about, but it's the greatest place on earth. It's my ticket from last year. And so, and I very much dislike trash. It pisses me off when humans leave their trash places on purpose. I understand that something can fly out of your vehicle, back of the truck, whatever the heck it is. But when people do it on purpose, pisses me off. I live out on public lands full time, and every campsite I go to, I'm picking up a crap ton of litter that's left behind. Tons of MOOP. And a lot of it is beer bottles, beer cans, the tops for them, and gun casings. Come on, guys, do better. All right. So that is what is going on with Burning Man. I think I've given you a whole bunch of ideas about what it's really like and what happens there. And I think the biggest thing that people complain about is the trash left afterwards outside of Black Rock City. Yes, we need to do better. The problem is humans. It's just humans, okay? Burners are great, but not everybody that goes is a burner. And the people leaving their trash in cities like that, they're not real burners, okay? They're just people that wanted to party and have a good time and then take off and leave the problems, their stuff, for someone else to deal with. Anyway, I'm going to Burning Man again this year, so come with me if you'd like. I will be showing it a lot on TikTok. I'll do as much here as I can as well, but I want to be there when I'm there, and I want to enjoy it while I'm there. And this takes a lot of time, so I don't know how much I will post here, but I'll do my best, okay? Promise. All right, we'll talk to you later. See you soon. Bye.